hi, let's jump right in and do the album cover of Here Comes the Bride. The only thing is you're going to see some differences. I use the gold pearl artisan cardstock, and I'm going to use the white pearl. So it's kind of hard to see, but there is a little different. This is the white, and there's also an ivory, but I'm going to use the white, and I think I'm going to be using the Sizzix that came in, and this is the charcoal. And it looks glittery, but it's not a loose glitter. And one thing when using this kind of paper, which I'll show you, I'll more than likely be doing some sewing like I did on the December daily, because with so many thicknesses, it really does, I think, hold better. And this is thicker. It's really neat looking. And so I'm going to see, we've got kind of a mirror, how this looks. So there are 5 card types. You get 50 sheets in here, and I've got it in white, a couple of different colors. So to get started, we want two cheap pieces of chipboard. The cover is 8 by 8 with a 2 3/4 inch spine that is also 8 inches long. Make sure everything's okay. And I've gone ahead and prepared my chipboard with the Scor tape sheets. And now you'll want 2 cardstock pieces cut down to 10 by 10. And with my spacers, I'm going to use the 1 inch at the top and 1 inch at the bottom. So that's going to give us 1 inch all the way around our cardstock. I'll be using the art glitter glue. And I need my paper towel that I didn't grab. Okay, I always forget to grab this in the beginning. Just cut it in half because I don't need a whole one. And let's get started. So with the Scor tape, you just remove the backing, makes it so quick. And now we'll do the second chipboard. Yeah, the funny thing is, I sat down to do this, and I just realized I haven't eaten. My tummy always reminds me as I'm sitting crafting, you didn't eat. Who wants to eat when you can craft, right? Now, for the next piece. So if you don't have the spacers that are exclusive to Country Craft Creations, I know others are making them, and you can use chipboard, but Beth, her and her husband created these for Country Craft Creations, and so supporting another small business is very important to me. And I've had these now for, oh my gosh, going on 2 years. She brought them at a retreat during COVID. So yes, it will be 2 years this year. So I'm pretty excited about that, that we've still, after 2 years, love using them. And they come in handy. Great back scratchers, let me tell you. And the 1 1/2. So there is a purpose for the 1 1/2. When I do my spines, when I wrap the chipboard, I like to have 1 1/2 on each side. It gives more holding power. I like the bigger size, but we still only need 1 inch at the top and 1 inch at the bottom. So I cut my cardstock 3 inches wider, which is 5 3/4, but it's 10 inches. So whatever your spine is, you just add 3 inches, 1 1/2 for each side. If you don't have the spacers, another good trick is just to lay this in your board. And the thing that's kind of important, you just want to do a light Scor line. at 1.5, and then you can do your light score line at the top and bottom at 1 inch. The nice thing too is, you may not be aware shipping is feasible, but that 1 inch score line, and I can see it. I know you can't really see on the camera. I can kind of see that intersection, and it gives me a good marking so that I can lay down my chipboard and it's going to be straight. I'll tell you what, these are just a lifesaver for me. And then I'm using the pearl. So you'll notice the cardstock does look a little bit shiny because it's pearlized. It's just gorgeous. So I don't use it for a lot of different projects unless I'm matting, but I do want to use it for the wedding album. I use the gold on the other, and I love how it turned out. It gives it that extra special rich look to it. So we're going to use our chipboard. And that also keeps our cardstock nice and straight when we use our chipboard as that anchor. Then the sides. Then we are going to bend this back. Now, if you're interested in using this method and putting it on the outside of your chipboard, because there have been some questions on my ancestor album, I wrapped the chipboard to the outside. And yes, it works fine. It does stand a little more of a chance of cracking, and that's why I like to put it on the inside. And I like that really flush, clean look. But you can wrap these to the outside. It will put stress, so you'll have to have a space here. You don't need a full 1/4 inch. And I won't do it on this wedding album, but you can go into the Ancestry album I did 2 years ago, and you'll see that I wrap the spine to the outside of my chipboard in the cover tutorial. And it works fine. It does put some stress on the seams though. So I'm cutting out the rectangles. Now we're going to miter those corners. Okay. Now we'll do the wings. I'm using the wet adhesive, so let's get all these scraps out of the way so that I don't get any in my glue. As you are watching the video, it does appear to be live, but it's not. This is a recording, so when you ask a question and I don't answer, please know that this is just it has been recorded. I have so many things I want to do with you this month, and so in order to get them done, I'm having to do some of them recorded instead of live. Now we are going to gently go ahead and clean up that edge there, gentle. Tell you what, I love working with the pearl. I wish it is a little more pricey, but with the finish on there, it is just beautiful. Let me tell you, and it just glides like silk. So we've got our spine piece ready. Let's prepare the front cover and the back cover. And I know many of you have made album covers. So you might even be skipping past this tutorial. And I am going a little bit faster than normal because, like I said, many of you I know have seen this process, and you can stop the video and start it. I even do that when working with other designers when I want to make their projects. Or if I'm doing a tutorial on using a piece of camera equipment or anything, I stop and start and go back till I get all the important information. So now I'm just going to cut the squares out. And it's so nice because everything will line up, especially if you've made quilts in the past or you make boxes. I love to make boxes. All we have to do now is miter the corner, and it's going to cover the chipboard beautifully. And now with the wedding paper, it does have a kind of a gold background and ivory, but you still can use many different colors. So if your bride has a pink or burgundy or blue, I almost used navy blue. I was going to put it with, and I'm like, got to go with this one. Or you can do your double matting in other colors of the bride. Start with your basic either. I know a lot of crafters, I for one don't like to work with plain white. I swear I sterilize my surface. I do. I bring out the hand sanitizer and I clean it because it always seems to pick up white, picks up any dirt like a magnet. Or I'm inking along and I get my ink on the white cardstock and then you just hate it. So experiment with different colors. And of course, black will make this look very beautiful and formal. I think that the gold pearl that I used on the first one antiqued it up a lot more. Come on. And yes, it is this paper. So your art glitter glue, it'll stick. It just takes a little extra pressure. But the pearl is Artisan Cardstock. It's such a dream to work with. Now, as you can see, just take an extra. Some extra pressure. How beautiful your corners just lay together, nice and mitered, especially if you've ever made quilts or you sew. You want to miter in the corners. It just comes together beautifully. Nice. A mess of glue knife. Okay. Took a little extra work, but it is a little cool down here tonight too. I kind of looked over and I noticed I've got just a little edge that needed to come off. didn't stick. Okay, we'll cut out the squares. And I need to do the sides. Now, if you're following along with the tutorial and you want to make your cover a different way, it's all going to work out the same. Just use the measurements if you want it to be the same size, and then you will be good to go. It doesn't have to be this album style. You can, do it all in one long piece of your cardstock if you like. And don't think that that's, abnormal if you're using the pearl when connecting it like this to the chipboard. It does take some little extra time and patience. Because this is a smoother, much smoother, slicker finish on it. Because of the pearl finish on it. Now we're going to connect the front and the back to the spine. Let this dry just for a second though. Using my spine, using my scoreboard. I use the scoreboard to help keep things pretty much straight as possible. I'm going to push that down just a little bit more gently to get more of a flat surface there. That looks good, and you can use your favorite adhesive with art glitter glue. I like to keep to the inside here on the spine. Of the chipboard, and don't go over that edge, of course. Let's see, it's picking up everything. Okay. So we just want to butt it up to the side and kind of pick it up there. No, he wants to slide. Okay, I'm going to hold this. I'm going to put a little extra pressure down. It's catching just fine paper to paper. I just want to clean up some of that glue. Before it seeps out. And my second piece. Okay, we're just going to hold this for a minute with some good pressure. Pretty wobbly right now, but we're going to fix that. Whoops. Man, I've never had the glue take this long to dry. All right, we're going to go back and hold it for a minute. I've got glue everywhere, but it will come off. So let's add some clothespins here for a moment as we get that centerpiece prepared, just to kind of help hold things. Let's get those to dry. Now I had a piece left from when I cut my spine. And as you can see, it's going to work because I have about about 3/8 of an inch on each side. And that's good. I just want it to overlap these spines. I don't want it to land on it or it gets too bulky. But my cover is 8 inches, so I need to cut my piece down. And I don't want to cut it quite 7 7/8. I'm going to go in between 7 7/8 and the 16th mark. I hope that makes sense. So just a little bit longer. It's about a 1/16 of an inch, but we're going to check it to make sure that it fits on the inside part of our cover. We don't want it sticking out anywhere. And as long as it fits on the inside, it'll give nice coverage. I do like to use the Scor tape sheet for this. And this is, I always do this in my construction. Then I use art glitter glue on everything else. Not what I wanted to do, was cut into that. So let me see if I need to fix that. No, we're okay. Making sure I didn't need to trim any more off the length. Go over all your sides. And now let's, there we go. Furnish into those creases. Now mine is a little off, and that doesn't happen a lot. So now I just doing is kind of pushing at the bottom. There we go. It's a little bit crooked. I don't usually have that happen. And there is our album cover for the start of Here Comes the Bride. And our next video, we will be putting in the hinge and the pages. And we have, how many pages is, oh, this one has the 4 pages, but they are decked out pages. So you've got tons of room in this album, and it'll be a great vow renewal, wedding, or just a gift. These will make really good gifts. You're going to love creating the rest of our album. So I'll see you in the next tutorial.